Welcome to the What's Happening Birmingham video podcast.
Hello everyone, this is Jarvis Escott with What's Happening Birmingham. Today I have the honor and pleasure of having on my podcast, the first time ever, Tazarus Whittle, better known to some of you all as Taz. Taz, thank you for coming on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good. For those of you all that do not know who this guy is, he is the regional vice president for a local financial firm here in town. But I want to bring him on today. We're going to talk entrepreneurship. We're about to talk about generational wealth and how to get out of this debt trap. So, Taz, thank you for coming on first.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me on.
Great. So, for those who don't know you, tell me your story.
Well, tell you my story. First off, I'm from a small town called Leroy, Alabama. I graduated from Leroy High School. Born in Jackson, Alabama. I left there, it's been over 20 years ago now. Entered into the Marine Corps. Spent 5 years in the Marines, serving the country. Attended, John Patterson Technical College for air conditioning and refrigeration. Also went to Auburn University at Montgomery for business and computer information systems. And I embarked upon a journey to be an entrepreneur. Man, I guess it's been 15 years now that I've been an entrepreneur working for myself.
All right. So, for those of you all that look at his social media a lot, Taz talks about financial issues all the time. Matter of fact, I love your posts. So the topic I really want to bring him on today is talking about generational wealth.
Right.
Because that's a topic, it's a buzzword, but what does that mean to you?
Well, generational wealth, what it means to me is what you're putting out for your family. What are you leaving for your family for generations to come? What kind of plan do you have in place? What kind of assets are you putting together to leave to your children's children, right? So everybody knows the Bible saying, I think it's Habakkuk, about building generational wealth, about leaving an inheritance to your children's children. But a lot of times we don't have the know-how, and we never get the ifs and ands of what that really means and how to put that in place. So it's a plan of acquiring assets and leaving an inheritance to your children.
All right, so what's some types of generational wealth?
Well, real estate is one type. In investments, right? Any type of asset that's adding value that you leave behind that can continue to add value and grow and appreciate. So if you have investments, if you have mutual funds and annuities left for the family, if you have, sometimes people make music, they have royalties left for the family. Houses, if you purchase real estate, and insurance, life insurance can be used to start the process of building, wealth for the family.
Now, one that you left out, but I feel like it's probably the most important, is leaving a business to your loved ones.
That's right.
That they don't have to go and ask somebody for a job. That's one thing I always love about your post. You're always telling people, go out here and create your own
create your
business.
Own.
So just tell me more about, your perspective on that.
Okay, so we've always been taught to go to school, get a good education, and get a good job. Right, but that's keeping us working for somebody else. So I've always been a proponent for people, working for themselves, because if we're ever going to create wealth in our community, then we're going to need to own our own businesses, right? So a lot of times, I'll say that, and people will say, well, everybody shouldn't own a business, and I hear you, but I don't necessarily agree. Right? I'm not saying everybody should run a business. I'm saying everyone should own a business, right? And just a side note, one of the reasons I say that is because the biggest bill that anybody is ever going to pay is going to be taxes. So one of the ways around, saving money on taxes is having a business, right? So if I own a business and build a business, and I do, and I leave that business to my children, I can have somebody else run that business, but my children can still own that business.
So how did you get into, because you have a quite interesting journey.
Right.
How did you get into financial services? Because you started off, you was in air conditioning.
Right. Well,
electrician, was it?
Well, no, just air conditioning, refrigeration,
Okay.
and that was years ago.
Okay.
And I never really did anything with air conditioning, refrigeration outside of home ownership and owning a home and homes and doing work on my own homes. But I moved to Birmingham from Montgomery in 2003.
All right.
And of course, at that time, I was working, at the mall, and I was an area manager for a company. And I ended up starting my own business during that time, and I started out in promotions actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right. So, and after that, I ended up doing promotions for a mortgage company. So I got introduced to the mortgage industry, and I was already had my heart set on being an investment guru, and I wanted to own homes and apartment complexes and commercial buildings and things of that nature. So he introduced me to mortgage, and I started to learn more and more about mortgage, and I started to learn more about credit, more about debt. So I ended up starting a credit business, and while I was doing mortgage, and this was in maybe '09, and then the collapse happened, and from that I still was doing more credit, and from there it was my introduction into finances. So at that point, the next part of that is insurance and investments.
All right. So one of the things you always like to talk about as well, also in your Facebook posts, is about the debt trap.
Right.
That it's astounding how many people are in credit card debt.
Right.
How many people are actually in auto debt.
That's right.
How many people in student loan debt.
That's right.
Kind of touch upon what you feel like the debt trap is today, in your opinion.
Wow, what is the debt trap today? It's so many different things that you talked about. One of the biggest issues, and I'm going to connect this to the generational wealth. We will never be able to create generational wealth as long as we have these generational curses of debt, and passing along and teaching our children, about building debt and leaving debt behind. We got to start something new, something fresh, and we really got to get out of the debt. So, I teach people debt stacking, right, to get them out of debt, right? I help people with plans, and this is completely complimentary. I sit down with people and help them, put a plan in place, a GPS to getting you out of debt as soon as possible. But those things are, just like you said, you said, student loan debt, right? Again, we've been taught to go to school, get an education, and get a good job. But what ends up happening in most cases is now we're in so much debt that we got to climb out of this debt trap, this debt hole, before we can start to build wealth, right? Is every dollar that I spend today is robbing me of the possible future that I could be creating when it comes to wealth building. So we really got to start our mindsets towards getting out of this debt.
All right, and for some of the people that's probably watching, I always say this in my videos because I always like to think how my viewers are thinking, is what advice would you give the people that's thinking about trying to make that transition from the 9 to 5 to the full-time business,
right,
and kind of tell a little bit your personal experience, how you was able to do it.
So first off, anytime somebody says that they want to start a business, one of the first things that I tell them is you need to have a plan in place, right? Everything that you do in life, you should have a plan. Starting a business, there should be a plan in place. And you need to start a spending plan, right? Spending your money properly, right, first, because you got to get good at, living below your means, and also, get a mentor, right? Mentors are vital when it comes to building business. Of course, going through school from K through 12, you were taught not to copy, right? You get in trouble for copying off of people. But in business, you got to copy what wins, right? You can copy what wins, copy other people's, business strategies. That's what you do with a mentor. And then, you grow from there, right? You may make, your own ideas of how you're going to do it better, right? When there was once a random guy that wanted to start a pizza joint, right? And it was Mom and Pop's Pizza. And then Mom and Pop's Pizza realized what he could do better to start his own pizza joint. So he started his own. We're going to say it was, let's just say Domino's, right? Well, what he did was he took what he learned and then he grew from there. So you have to do the exact same thing. Find mentors that can help you, that can educate you on, what you're going to, entail when you start this business, and then research. We got to do research. right? You want to start a business. You need to know the ins and outs of that business, what you're going to be doing to help people, right? Any business you start, Business 101 says find a need and then fill that need and you'll get paid.
Yeah,
So
AJ Gaston. Yeah.
right, that's right. So we got to do that. If you'll find a business that you really want to be a part of, something that you really can get behind, something that you feel like there's really a need for in our community, then you can really make a lot of money helping people.
All right, and I know you all are probably watching this too. Like, yeah, I want to start a business, but
right,
and be blunt, I ain't got no money.
Right.
What do you say to that?
Right. Well, you don't have to have money to start a business of your own, right? And by that I mean you don't have to have your own money. You can actually use money from other people, right? I remember one of the first houses that I purchased, I enlisted help from a couple people to, borrow money from. So you got avenues to use to be able to get funding for starting businesses, but everybody might not have that, right? So what you may have to do is, again, like I said, start a spending plan of saving, right? And I'm not saying the spending plan is my budget, right? So we always use the word budget, but people don't start budget. They don't stick to budgets. But you can start and stick to a spending plan because you're already spending your money, right? Now you just got to write down everything that you're doing, itemize the list, and make sure you start to cut out certain things, right? A lot of people could start a business for the money that they spend in coffee every morning, right? So maybe you need to cut out that coffee from day to day. That $5 coffee at we'll leave the coffee, Bazaar coffee. You go to Bazaar, but if you're spending $5 on coffee every morning, that may be keeping you from starting a business.
Can you tell people the importance of surrounding themselves with like-minded, business-minded individuals? Because I just take my experience, it's like me being in business for going on about 13 years,
Right.
is that when I'm having problems in my business, struggles, I like to talk to other entrepreneurs.
That's right.
When you talk to people that work a 9-to-5, now against people 9-to-5,
Right.
their mindset is a little bit different.
It's very different, right? So I can't say enough about the importance of surrounding yourself with the right people, right? And that goes into taking advice. Who are you taking advice from? You got to have the right people in your circle, because this is one of the reasons why we say we're going to go into business, and you probably experienced this when you were first out. But you say, man, I want to start a business, and then you start talking to, let's just say, your family members, right? And your family members don't understand business. They understand go to work, go to school, go get an education, get a job. But they don't understand business. So what will happen is our family members and the people that surround us a lot of times will end up holding us back.
Yes.
Why are you trying to do that? Just go get a job, right? I heard that when I first started out. I can remember my grandmother like it was yesterday saying, son, listen, just get a job. Why you out here trying to, start a business? She wasn't trying to, limit my growth. Right, in her mind, she was trying to keep me from losing. She was trying to keep me from, not failing. But we have to fail in business in order to get ahead, right? Failure is a growth process. It's a learning tool, right? So you got to surround yourself with people, right, that understand your struggle, that understand the plight, that understand what it is to build a business, right? So the people that you surround yourself with are everything. That Eagle's nebula, if you will, right? That grows the stars, right? Okay. So it's important, man. It is so important. And you having a close five, a network of 5 people that you can bounce ideas off of, and not listening to people outside of that network, right? If I'm going to get advice on, how my beard should be cut, I'm gonna go to a barber and I'm gonna ask my barber friend. I'm not gonna ask my doctor, right? If I need help on, making adjustments to my car, I want to make it faster. I got a race car and I want to make it faster. I'm not going to go to my doctor to have that come. I'm going to talk with my friends that work in the industry, right? Mechanics that I'm friends with. I'm going to make a network of those friends. So if I'm going to talk about business, building a business, I need to talk to my business friends, business-minded people, right? So it's super important.
All right, I got 2 more questions I want to ask Taz, and these like bonus questions. I didn't even send it to you.
Right.
But I just wanted to get him on the spot because I want to give you get the most authentic answer. You ready for the first one?
Okay, I'm ready.
What has been your biggest failure in business so far?
My biggest failure so far. Well, the first house I purchased, I made a huge mistake because I didn't get the house inspected properly, right? I did an inspection and I had somebody come inspect it, but I didn't go through a thorough inspection of that house. This is my first house I purchased, and that house had termite damage all throughout.
Oh my!
Right, so I ended up, having to tear all the walls out. I had to tear the ceiling out and the portions of the floor just to fix all of the termite damage. So being thorough in your investigations of whatever you're going to do in business is key, right? Being extra thorough. So that was probably my biggest mistake. But I don't count mistakes the same way that most people would count mistakes. When you're in business, again, going back to, failure is a part of growth and it's a part of learning, right? I think Thomas Edison, if I'm not mistaken, he trying to create the filament for the bulb, he created somewhere around 1,000 different filaments that failed, right? So that was 1,000 different mistakes if you look at it that way. And then it was like 1,000. I think it might have been 1,013 when he got it correct. So those were mistakes. Those were failures, but he was growing each time from each failure. So in business, failures is something that you learn from. It's something that you grow from.
All right, and my last question before we always like to do the wrap up and for more information is, YouTube is forever.
Right.
Once we put this on here,
right.
People gonna go back years from now. So let's just peek into the future.
Right.
What are your goals 3 to 5 years from now while we in this day in 2019?
Okay. 3 to 5 years from now, my goal is to definitely be a multimillionaire at that point. That's just my goal right now. To have a thriving businesses, not just business, but businesses that I can leave to my children's children. I'm building for my children. Right? I'm playing this game for my last name, right? For my children's children, so that I can leave that inheritance that we talk about.
All right, and for people that's more interested in getting to, contact you, want to reach out to you, what's that phone number, website, email? There you go.
So my phone number is 205-201-8562. If you need any help with getting out of debt, putting a plan in place to build generational wealth, you want to talk about wealth building strategies, definitely give me a call. My email is tazaruswhittle@yahoo. That's TazarusWhittle@yahoo. You can find me on Facebook, my first and last name, Tazarus Whittle, and also on IG on Instagram. It's Tazarus Whittle as well.
All right, well, Taz, thank you for coming on, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Finally, one of my favorite people, man.
Right.
I love your posts, man. You're motivating.
I appreciate it.
I'm telling you, I think this probably be one of my best videos this year. I'm going to proclaim, I'm going to speak it because it's very important. It's just, at the end of the day, everyone that, watch these videos, I love to educate people the same way. I want, from watching these videos, you take this information and make your life better and make your friends' life, your family life better. So wherever, take it, please share this video with a lot of people. Thank you for watching this video. Please check out what'shappeningbirmingham.com for more videos. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel because I need some more subscribers. Thank you all again and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Thank you for watching the What's Happening Birmingham video podcast. Please check out our website or subscribe to our YouTube channel for the latest videos today.